Maroo joins us from Abu Dhabi. He's a senior oil analyst and head of product experts at Sparta Commodities. Welcome back to the program. Now, despite easing prices, Brent crude is still on track for its biggest monthly gain in years. So those supply concerns seem to still be a leading factor.
Yeah, very much. Supply is really the main concern for the market at the moment. We have an issue at three major sections of the global crude oil market at the moment. We have an issue with crude coming out of the Hormuz straits. Yes, there has been a little bit of an increase in traffic in the last couple of days, but still, we're very, very far away from the 20 million barrels a day that was the norm prior to the Iran-US war. We have an issue still ongoing with the ability for crude to move in the Red Sea, given the latest Houthi attacks. And then thirdly, something which hasn't been mentioned so much in the wider media is ongoing escalation and issues in loading crude from the Russian Black Sea. And that's also having an impact for European buyers especially. So clearly crude oil supply is constrained at the moment in various ways, in various geographies. The natural support for price is there because of this. A lot needs to be done before there's any real change in that.
And how quickly can Hormuz traffic return to around 50% of pre-conflict levels? And could that potentially trigger oversupply, as some analysts had feared earlier?
Yeah, so I think it's very, very difficult at this stage to talk about a quick recovery when it comes to Hormuz traffic. We have to remember which countries are affected by this traffic slowdown. We can see many of these countries in the region, Bahrain, Qatar, Iraq, Kuwait, they have really, really lowered their oil production since the crisis has begun. That will take time to recover, and that will take time to recover to trigger an increase in traffic through the Hormuz. There's not going to be a quick fix to get traffic out. And so I really don't think the question is about an oversupply anytime soon. The larger concern at the moment is about undersupply, and especially when we look at oil markets, it's about the undersupply of refined products.
And Saudi Arabia is now leading a maritime coalition in the Red Sea. How could that help stabilize global energy markets and shipping?
Yeah, so this is an important development because it shows there is some steps being made to try and bring some calm. But nevertheless, these workarounds, these interim solutions, they are still adding inefficiencies into the global freight market. It still means that crude, if it loads from the Red Sea, it takes a longer distance to get to the market. It incurs more in shipping costs, it incurs more in insurance costs, it incurs more in price to get to the end buyer. And so this is a natural support for both freight markets and also natural support for crude prices as well, as long as this continues.
And Donald Trump is proposing tariffs against Iranian energy buyers. Could that potentially shift Asian demand?
So I don't think this is going to really have that much impact. And the reason is because when it comes to Iran, China is by far the biggest buyer of their oil, the biggest buyer of their oil exports. And really no other Asian buyers are keen to change that anytime soon. You don't really want to risk the chance of having sanctions applied to you by loading Iranian oil, and you don't want to risk having any more cargoes exposed by having to transit through the Strait of Hormuz. So I think this is really a message for China, but really I don't think this changes Asian demand overall per se. And I don't think it does much to change Chinese buying as well. We've seen China really reduce its crude buying since the start of the war. And at the moment, we don't see any signs of that having a very quick recovery anytime soon.
Maroo in Abu Dhabi, thank you very much for speaking to us here on TRT World.
Thank you.